To begin to wear sari properly, you need to gather a few tools. First, your ultimate sari solution, Perfect Pleats. A few safety pins, if you have them already open, it's easier when you're wearing the sari. A sari blouse. The petticoat, which is normally the same color as your sari. And you want to make sure you're wearing the shoes that you plan on wearing with your sari to get the proper length. Finally, the sari. You want to identify a few key areas in your sari before you begin. First, the most decorated part of the sari is called the balu, and this part goes over your shoulder. You want to identify the bottom edge of the sari, which is normally a nice border. And this bottom edge is sometimes backed with a piece of material known as the fall. And this material is the same color as the sari, and it allows the pleats to fall and fold properly. If it isn't already there, you may want to consider having one put on. Finally, identify the top edge of the sari. This material is what you tuck in at the beginning, and so you want to know where that is. Now I'm finally able to put on a sari anytime I want by myself with my new ultimate sari solution, Perfect Pleats. This simple, easy tool allows me to make pleats and be able to put on any sari style in anywhere I want, anytime I want by myself. So I'm going to show you how to use the Perfect Pleats tool to put on the contemporary Bengali style sari. I'm going to take the top edge of my sari. Again, the bottom edge has the nice fall. I take the top edge and start tucking around from the right hand side. I start a little bit behind my right side and I tuck it in. So I want to make sure my chanyo is nice and tight to hold the weight of the sari. And I want to make sure that as I tuck in, I pull the sari tight to give my body a nice shape. I go all the way around. And when I come back to my right hand side, what I'm going to do is pull the rest of the material out in front of me. And I want to make sure I keep the top edge in my hand. And now I get to the balu. The balu is going to go over my left shoulder. What I want to do is pull it around me one more time. Again, the top edge is in my hand. I'm just going to fold it so it's a little bit more manageable and move it over my left shoulder. And I want it to go about to the back of my knees. I move it out of my way so that I can have the top edge of this material from the back out and into the front here. Now I'm going to tuck it in to my belly button, both the one from my left side and the one from my right side. And this is going to give me the material that needs to be pleated out in front. I take my Perfect Pleats sari solution and I want to put it in the wide setting. So there are 3 settings here. And for all of this material, I want it to be wide so I have less pleats to have to deal with. So I just line them up, snap it in place, and I start with the sari from my right hand side into the right hand side prong here in the back. All I'm going to do is weave the material through the prongs. I'm using my hand here at the top to sort of hold the fabric as I weave it. And so now that all the pleats are done, this is what it looks like on the side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it to the left. I want the pleats facing the left-hand side. I'm basically just going to straighten them out a little bit with my hand. And I always like to pin them. So what I do is I grab all the pleats, lift out my tool, grab one of my safety pins that's already open, and I put the safety pin through all of the pleats. All right, and there we go. And now I just tuck it in. And I have beautiful pleats in the front. Now for the top, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pleat my Sari balu. So again, I wanna make sure I have this top edge, the corner. I'm gonna use my Ultimate Sari solution, my Perfect Pleats. And for the balu, I want it to be a little skinnier on my shoulder. So I'm gonna use the tool at the average setting. So here, I'm gonna unsnap and line up at the average setting. I take my top edge, put it into the right side of the tool, at the prong that is closest to me. I slip a piece of the fabric into the slit here, and now I'm gonna pleat it. And for this, it's easier to look at the front side of the balu as you go along. You want to make sure that you pull the fabric tight at each step so that the pleats are nice and even. Again, I'm using my hand to help hold the material. Now, no matter what setting you use, you want to make sure that both edges of your balu are on different sides of the pleat so that it's perfect when it goes over your shoulder. So this is what it should look like on the sides here, you see? And both ends are on different sides. So now what I want to do is just straighten them out. And I always like to pin them. Again, it makes it easier. So I'm going to pull out my tool, grab a pin, and go through all of the pleats. Put it over my shoulder. And as I go along, I just sort of make sure all the pleats are perfect. Put it over the shoulder. Make sure this top one comes out. And there we go. I'll put a final pin right here. And if you can't get inside your blouse, you can do it on the top and the outside. You want to pin it to your blouse so it doesn't slip off your shoulder. And then you're going to take out this pin. Fix your hair, fix your jewelry, and you're ready to go.